Good afternoon, and welcome to the Community College of Allegheny County's Nurses Pinning Ceremony. I'm Dr. Stuart Blacklaw, the Provost and Executive Vice President of the college. On behalf of Dr. Quinton Bullock, President of the Community College of Allegheny County, Regional Presidents Dr. Yvonne Walters and Charlene Newkirk, and the rest of the CCAC leadership team, I am pleased to open today's festivities. We will hear from 4 student speakers this afternoon, one from each of our graduating cohorts, a speaker from our nursing faculty, and a team of announcers from our faculty who will lead us in the virtual pinning. All nurses in our audience will join our new nurses in the Florence Nightingale Pledge, and we will welcome our new rising seniors with the passing of the lamp. We're here this afternoon to celebrate one of the most important moments in our graduates' lives. At CCAC, we are committed to delivering the finest nurses training program in the country, one that produces highly skilled and compassionate nurses, as well as one that currently ranks number 3 among the nation's community colleges for the number of nursing program graduates. This success is possible due to our exceptional nursing faculty, administrators, and staff who teach, guide, encourage, and support our students. I thank and salute all of you for a job well done. Now I am pleased to welcome Kathy Mayle, the Dean of Nursing for CCAC, who will begin our celebration.
Thank you, Dr. Blacklaw. To all our graduates, faculty and staff, President Bullock, college administrators, and especially family and friends, welcome to this wonderful occasion. I am truly honored to welcome you to our virtual pinning celebration. I think it's awesome that we're soon going to add 150 more nurses to the 4 million professional registered nurses already working in the United States of America. You are about to enter the nursing profession, which has its own unique culture, its own unique characteristics, traditions, patterns of behaviors, values, and beliefs. What separates nursing from a training program or a VOTEC program is that nursing is described as a calling that requires special knowledge, skills, and educational preparation in a systematic manner to acquire a body of knowledge. Nursing has its own theoretical base that we are constantly building and refining. Along with your transition from student to that of professional registered nurse comes responsibility. Once you pass your State Board of Nursing test, are licensed to practice, and begin working as a registered nurse, you are responsible for following the State Nurse Practice Act. It is a law that outlines your standards for the practice of nursing. Your ultimate responsibility is to protect the public, and it is your duty to ensure the safe practice of nursing in every aspect of your nursing work. You are morally obligated to follow our American Nurses Association Code of Ethics. More specifically, you are to embrace beneficence, to do good, non-maleficence, to do no harm, promote autonomy by allowing patients the right to make their own health choices, and to stand up for justice and ensure patients are to be treated with fairness and equity. You should be very proud as graduates here today. Your journey was not easy. CCAC has a solid reputation for graduating competent nurses. We have strong faculty prepared in classroom, teaching, and clinically. You competed with over 1,000 applicants for the 560 seats available each year. The standards, policies, and procedures are tough, but they need to be, as we have a duty to protect the public. But you sitting here today have endured and persevered. In 2012, the faculty adopted the innovative concept-based curriculum, which required movement from a medical model approach to that of a more engaged, problem-based learning approach. It was a hard transition for both the faculty and the students. Faculty have worked strategically over the last 9 years to tweak the curriculum in the best interests of students. The faculty have chosen to invite students to sit on each of their council committees in order to incorporate student feedback into our systematic plan for program evaluation. This was the right thing to do so that our students are able to graduate and provide quality health care at a competent level. CCAC is fully approved by the Pennsylvania State Board of Nursing. Our board scores are solid. We have currently a first-time pass rate of 95.41%, and we have full accreditation with our national accreditor. Last year, October 5th to the 8th, the CCAC nursing program was site visited by the Accreditation Commission for Education in Nursing, and we have met all our best practice standards for associate degree nursing programs. We are most proud to be recognized by Allegheny County's County Council for CCAC being ranked as having one of the best associate degree in nursing programs in the nation. Right now, you are graduating at a great time in spite of the pandemic. Never before are nurses more in demand and respected for their contribution for protecting the public than now. There is a critical need for nurses. Hospitals want to employ our associate degree graduates because they are competent, loyal, and have staying power with strong ties to the Pittsburgh metropolitan community. Any of us would be proud to have a CCAC graduate caring for us at the bedside. So today we are here celebrating by having a virtual nursing pinning ceremony. Some of you may ask why, and I will tell you that nursing is a profession with a rich historical past that is steeped with traditions. Historians can actually trace the traditions back to the Crusades of the 12th century, when the group of knights tended to and cared for the injured and suffering crusaders. These monks cared for the sick. When new monks were initiated into the Knights Order of the Hospital of St. John the Baptist, they vowed to serve these injured and sick soldiers in a ceremony where each monk was given a Maltese cross that they wore on their arms. It was the first badges given to those who nurse. So this modern pinning ceremony dates back to the 1860s when Florence Nightingale was honored with the Red Cross of St. George for her selfless efforts to injured men during the Crimean War. Because she believed in acknowledging a job well done, she presented a Medal of Excellence to her hardest working nursing graduates. By 1916, pinning became a standard in the United States where all nursing graduates were honored with a pin during a special ceremony. It was stated that the nursing pin has both literally and symbolically a cross to bear, a medal, and a badge. Let me quote, "It is a cross to bear to show a nurse's dedication to their patients by staying back and caring for those patients long after others have given up hope and gone home. A medal of honor for the respect nurses have for both the miracle of life and finality of death, and a badge of courage for everything nurses do and represent on the front lines fighting death and disease, and doing so with courage and commitment." This quote is so appropriate for right now during these challenging times. The pinning ceremony is now considered a time-honored nursing school tradition. It signifies your official initiation into the brotherhood and sisterhood of nurses. For you graduates today, I acknowledge that it is a rite of passage and symbolizes your honorable completion of a rigorous and physically demanding nursing preparation program. So, as Dean of Nursing, I would like to leave you with a few parting words of advice. Pass your National Council licensing exam, affectionately referred to by its acronym, NCLEX exam, on the first attempt. After you've been in such an intense program for 2 years, come Monday morning you will experience a letdown feeling. You are used to getting up early and going to clinical or virtual class and labs and dedicating your lives to your studies. Now, after you catch up on your sleep, you might miss your nursing educational experience. So I have some advice for you. On Monday morning, make a plan for NCLEX test success. You should already have online access to NCLEX questions, and family and friends, NCLEX test prep online resources make great graduation gifts. You should have a study schedule blocked off each day. Do NCLEX questions and research and study from your questions. And finally, be kind to your patients. People in hospitals are in vulnerable positions and they look to the nurse to advocate for them on their behalf. So it's important now during the pandemic, when the patient may only see or hear loved ones over technology, patients need kindness. We must maintain their trust and their dignity during these trying times. Human touch may be difficult during this pandemic. However, find a minute or two where you can stop and communicate caring and compassion by using your gloved hand to touch the patient's hand and look them in the eye and smile. And yes, your eyes can smile and reflect compassion. I guarantee they will remember you for a lifetime. Once again, welcome to our profession of nursing, and thank you for this opportunity to serve you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now hear from our class representatives speaking in the following order: Michelle Grover, Allegheny Campus; Morgan Helmick, CCAC at California University of Pennsylvania; Jennifer Bend, North Campus; Stephanie Shipley, South Campus. Let's give them a round of applause.
Pinning Day, a day that we thought would never arrive, is finally here. A rite of passage that marks the culmination of countless hours of study, exams, clinical rotations, skill building, and knowledge gained. With the encouragement of family and friends, we embarked on this incredible journey to become nurses. From the beginning, we knew that this journey would be difficult and challenging, but nothing could deter us from pursuing this goal, not even a global pandemic. Milestones on this journey included the completion of prerequisites, acceptance into the CCAC nursing program, gaining a strong foundation in fundamentals, passing skills checkoffs, and caring for our first patients. Along the way, we quickly became accustomed to the anxiety nursing students experience while studying, completing assignments, learning to take nursing exams, and waiting for grades to post. We also realized the excitement of what being a nurse entails: successfully placing a Foley catheter, completing a bed bath, administering an IM injection, crying with a patient who was given bad news, and rejoicing with another when results came back negative, learning how to converse with medical professionals in another language, medical terminology, and observing countless diagnostic tests, participating in a code, and the lab simulations where we responded to either a fellow classmate or mechanical patient experiencing anaphylaxis. These will forever remain etched in our memories. Additionally, when COVID-19 became a pandemic, we took on the challenge of transitioning to an online format. In similar fashion to those who came before us, we showed that nurses are resilient, courageous, and adaptive professionals who pull together in a time of crisis. We began as a diverse group of individuals brought together with the common goal of becoming nurses, but we quickly realized that you cannot survive nursing school alone. And so study groups were formed, clinical groups became family, and the flurry of texts sent at all hours of the day and night became our reality. It is true, no one knows or understands the joys and frustrations of being a nursing student better than another nursing student. the disappointments felt when either you or one of your classmates failed an exam, ATI, or class, as well as the relief of overcoming barriers, illness, or hardships, both in and out of the classroom. Together, we experienced the excitement and triumph of passing a skill checkoff, obtaining a solid grade on an exam, or performing the confidence learned skills on the clinical floor. There's just something about the nursing school experience that connects individuals together. Our other support came from our family and friends. The encouragement to press on and not give up during those long nights of exam prepping, the early mornings or night shift clinical rotations, the days we wanted to give up. Despite it all, you reminded us of why we were working so hard to reach this goal. As for myself, being the oldest of 8 children gave me the benefit of practicing nursing skills long before I decided to pursue nursing as a career. To my parents, siblings, roommates, extended family, friends, and church family, thank you. And speaking for my classmates, thank you to our family and friends for helping us reach this day. We could not have done this without you. Finally, I want to thank Dean Mail, our numerous professors, clinical and lab instructors, and tutors of the CCAC Nursing Department for your encouragement and excellent instruction during our time in this program. Thank you to Connie Trauma, our wonderful secretary who kept us updated and on track with clinical and Castle Branch requirements and deadlines. I also want to thank our friends in the Math Cafe, the Learning Commons, CCAC Student Life and Engagement, and SNAP for always being there to assist and encourage us. In conclusion, as we prepare to begin our careers as nurses, let us not forget that caring for others is an honor, a privilege, and a great responsibility. Take the foundation of what we have learned here and build upon it. Mature and grow as professionals in the nursing field and in our communities. Be an example for those who will come after us. In closing, I will leave you with this quote: "You are where you are for such a time as this, not to make an impression, but to make a difference." Congratulations, graduates. We are nurses.
Good evening, everyone. I cannot express how honored I am to be speaking before you all today. Today, we can look back and appreciate the resilience and dedication we have put forth during this trying, difficult year of nursing school. As many of you know, this past year has been a non-traditional college experience. We did not have in-person labs, weekly clinicals, or in-person tutoring. Instead, we had PowerPoint lectures, emails, and Zoom University. We had to learn how to adjust to this new world of learning that we never were exposed to before. And for that, I am proud of all of us. We have dedicated countless hours, sleepless nights, and even more sleepless mornings, and it has finally paid off. As Elizabeth C. Light said, nurses have a unique perspective and understanding of how precious life is. This perspective is a gift. This semester has truly given this graduating class a unique way of viewing the world of nursing, learning, and life itself. This very group of students have proven that we can accomplish anything that we put our minds to and then some. None of us have imagined that we would ever experience anything like this past year, but we prospered, overcame, and accomplished our main goal, conquering nursing school. From the class of 2021, I would like to thank our CCAC faculty for always supporting us, pushing us to do our best. Without you all, we would not be the students or nurses we are today. Congratulations, everyone, and best wishes in the future. Thank you.
Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." As graduating nursing students, we can relate to every one of these words. We are here today because of our successes and our hard work, but it is not final. Our journey will continue long after today. We have to continue working and working hard to be great nurses and strive to provide the best care to every one of our patients. We undoubtedly failed, cried, felt hopeless, discouraged, and defeated, but we got up and shook it off because we had the courage to continue despite the emotional battles that we faced, and we persevered. Did you know that according to the most recent Gallup poll, for the last 19 years, Americans have rated nurses as the #1 most ethical and honest profession? We have chosen to work in a profession that requires great self-sacrifice with the numerous hours away from our families and countless hours invested in complete strangers. Although we may receive some thank yous along the way, much of our work and sacrifices will go without much recognition. But for us, that is okay. We didn't choose to be nurses because we want to be rich, work regular hours, get awards or rounds of applauses. We did this because we are some of the very few select people that can be about more than ourselves and see beyond our own wants and needs. We will be devoting hours upon hours a day to people that we have never met, to families we will never see again, and to people who are enduring one of the hardest times of their lives. And our patients and their families put their faith in us to care for them, to help them feel better. It is our ability to sacrifice our own wants and needs that make us exceptional nurses and people. As we look back on our journey that started a short 2 years ago, none of us could have imagined this day. From our very first day in room 1115, Professor Schneider told us how quickly this journey would go. Of course, none of us believed her. The days were long, stressful, overwhelming, and emotional. Together, we cried, we laughed, learned, and encouraged each other to keep fighting. Every single emotion could be felt in a single day, from tears resulting in a failing exam, to joy from passing a skills test, to apprehension about the new content that we were expected to learn and memorize for an exam the following week. All the emotions we felt have come to a head today. Today, we get to be elated, excited, nervous, and proud. We also endured something many other nurses won't have the privilege of bragging about. We survived nursing school in the middle of a global pandemic. Who would have ever imagined when we started this program that we would be learning how to be a nurse on Zoom? We should also take a moment of gratitude, as many of us have loved ones that helped us along this journey. Remember to take some time to thank them for their support, love, and sacrifices that they made to make this day possible for you. Also, the many thank yous that we need to give to our professors who work tirelessly to answer our emails at all hours, respond to our questions, and who redid all of their lesson plans in light of a global pandemic and online learning requirements. And thank you to our clinical instructors who put their licenses on the line for us so that we could learn and stay on track to graduate today. Today is a celebration of all of our challenges, failures, and accomplishments. We had the courage to conquer ourselves, our minds, our fears, and our doubts, and now we can say we did it. Congratulations.
Welcome faculty, staff, CCAC administration, family, friends, and graduates of 2021. I am Stephanie Shipley, evening and weekend CCAC nursing program graduate. And let me start by saying, we did it. While this may not be the ceremony we imagined when we first began, I am grateful that we are all able to come together and celebrate our accomplishments. Today, the proud graduates of the CCAC South Nursing Program have persevered through 20 months or more in a program faced with near constant change. When we first started this journey a few years ago, I'm confident that none of us could have predicted how this endeavor would unfold. As we have come to appreciate in our hours spent on the clinical floor, learning occurs in the most unlikely venues. We learn concepts critical to our success as future nurses in the classroom, in the hospital, in our bedrooms, in our basements, and at our dining room tables. With the support of our families, friends, and partners, we have persisted. We stood together and supported each other at every turn, not because it was expected of us, but because we realized that our shared success was as important as our personal success. The content of the character of my fellow classmates should not be underestimated. We found a way to conquer the challenges before us. While our time in the program has been varied and unpredictable, it made me think of all the others who came before us, learning their skills in wartime, or quite literally defining what it means to be a nurse. Beyond Florence Nightingale, many others overcame unbelievable challenges to provide care for their patients. Individuals like Margaret Sanger, who cared for her 5 youngest siblings after their mother died, while simultaneously completing her studies so that she could enter the nursing program at her local hospital. Ms. Sanger went on to be a nurse and patient advocate, particularly for women, as she witnessed the disparity in care they received. In 1939, she founded the Planned Parenthood Federation, which allowed women to have an active role in family planning for the first time. Famous author Walt Whitman served as a nurse in combat zones during the Civil War, and Edith Cavell served as a nurse in German-occupied Belgium during World War I. Edith insisted on providing care for wounded warriors. No matter their affiliation, Allied or German troops received the same care. This act, a true example of our core nursing values of justice and beneficence, cost Edith her life. Mary Eliza Mahoney, the first Black American to receive training as a nurse in 1879, gained her education from the New England Hospital for Women and Children, a hospital at which she had previously worked as a cook, maid, and washerwoman. At the time of her admission to that program, she was just one of 3 women, and that was just the beginning of her journey, as she continued to work throughout her career against discrimination of minority nurses and ensure appropriate, accessible health care for people of color. These individuals who came before us, they are examples which illustrate the kind of people who become nurses. Those who are undeterred by the challenge and seek to provide patient care justly and for the good of others. These are the qualities I have come to admire in the class of 2021. Among us may sit the next Walt Whitman, Mary Eliza Mahoney, or Margaret Sanger. And while our education may not have been received under such harsh circumstances, I see the same kind of strength and resilience among my peers. A passion and dedication for patient care, no matter what the surrounding circumstances. You may be sitting here now, relieved to have completed this program, knowing that you started this program with exactly this day in mind. But as we move forward from here, whether this is the last step of your academic journey or the completion of one part of a longer path, know this: we are difference makers. We are advocates and healers. We are fierce. We completed a nursing program that pushed us to our limits and beyond. I challenge you to hang on to this feeling, a feeling of accomplishment, of pride, and of faith that you can do hard things, because I know that you can. We can achieve. So take this moment, enjoy today, reflect on what we have learned about healthcare, the art of nursing, and most importantly about ourselves. Then I challenge all of us to pick the next target, the next goal, the next degree. What else can we do? What more can we achieve? In the words of author A.A. Milne, promise me you will remember you're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Let us take the next steps on our journey with new confidence gained from this experience. We are smart, we are strong, we are undaunted, we are nurses. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Now that you've met a few of our students, you can tell why we're so proud of them. Next, I'm delighted for the opportunity to introduce our faculty speaker. Maureen Pavlik is a professor of nursing at the Community College of Allegheny County, where she has been a faculty member since 1990. Professor Pavlik received her diploma from Louise Sue M. McClintock School of Nursing in March of 1972. She completed her Bachelor of Science degree in nursing and earned her master's degree in nursing from the University of Pittsburgh. Professor Pavlik worked in a variety of nursing fields prior to joining the faculty at CCAC. She has been teaching aspiring nurses here for 30 years. Please join me in welcoming Maureen Pavlik, our faculty speaker for this afternoon's pinning ceremony.
I have been given the privilege of addressing you today. I like to speak at pinning, but I also like to do the actual pinning of the grads. I like to pin for several reasons. It's with pinning that we welcome them to the profession. With this gesture, pinning on their nursing pin, that we say they have completed their preparation to be a registered nurse and are now prepared to take the NCLEX exam. We send them out into the wider world with this little pin that has in small print, Community College of Allegheny County. This is only one of the reasons that the faculty strives to maintain standards. You represent us in that wider world. We know that you will represent us well in that wider world. Even though we take pride in you, we know that much of what you have accomplished is through your own effort and study, with the very important love and support of your family and friends. There have been stumbles along the way. In March this year, I celebrated 50 years since my pinning. When I was a freshman student nurse, both groups of upperclassmen at our School of Nursing were on vacation, and the instructor, fearing that she wouldn't have enough to do, I guess, gave myself and a couple other freshman student nurses patients who were much beyond what we were educated to do. I had several complicated procedures to do. I went into the room armed with supplies, preparing to get ready and then get the instructor. I proceeded to wake this gentleman to take his temperature prior to the needed procedure. I called his name, I tapped him a few times. The roommate saw this and then finally said, "You know, all the nurses talk to him, as I know they should for somebody in a coma, but you really act like you're trying to wake him up." The person had been in a coma for several months. I wish I could remember what I said to the roommate, but I can't. I do remember looking back on the chart and the other materials provided. Because nurses' notes were completely different in those days, there were only subtle clues that the patient was comatose, and because all they said in report is that he was the same, there was really nothing to clue me into the fact that he was comatose. I learned from this. Hopefully this is what you can say about some of your less than stellar performances. When I graduated in 1971, AIDS did not exist. Toxic shock syndrome had not been identified. Many other treatments had not been invented, such as angioplasty for opening up vessels, lithotripsy for crushing kidney stones, are but a few. And of course, the most common change is what we thought we knew about a disease proves to be something slightly different. It will be necessary for you to continue to learn throughout your career. You are joining a profession with many heroes. Florence Nightingale, who reformed hospitals in the 1800s, Linda Richards, who was a pioneer in mental health nursing, and certainly one thinks of the nurses who served the troops near the battlefield. But I can also think of other heroes. I'm reminded of a client in a nursing home where I worked part-time. She was about 95 and was a retired professor of nursing. She had Alzheimer's and was very confused. She would ride around in her wheelchair. Commonly, she would take the hands of the other patients and enclose them in hers and look back into their eyes and ask sincerely how they were, or sometimes she would ask them if they were in pain. Unfortunately, she would also ride into the rooms of those who were unable to get out of bed and encourage them to get up and get moving if they wanted to get better. Even in her confusion, there were clues to how she spent her life. Is there any doubt she was devoted to the profession of nursing? She was a nursing hero. Every year they do a poll identifying the most well-respected professions. Most years, nursing comes out first as the most well-respected profession. One would think that being a nurse and being frequently in the company of nurses, that I would not have as much respect as the general public. But actually the opposite is true. Among the selection of people I have met in my life, it is the nurses that I have the most respect for. I see them struggling in difficult situations, sometimes just physically difficult, but frequently gut-wrenching situations. I strive to be that ideal of a nurse. I view nursing as a life's work. I hope you emulate these nursing heroes, not only the ones who changed the nursing profession, but also the ones who passed their lives in the service to others and do not appear in any nursing history books, but strived each day to do their best. Many things will change during your nursing career, but please bring from the past the ideal of service to others. There are struggles ahead. When we do the pinning, we like to take our time. We want the graduates' families and friends to truly be able to appreciate the moment this person becomes a nurse. We think that it facilitates the picture taking, and I like there to be a visual record, or at least to take the time to appreciate the moment that this person becomes a nurse. I want it for the times the profession is difficult. I want it for the times that it requires extra strength. I want it so you remember the moment. Thank you.
Each graduate will now be presented for pinning. Graduates will be announced by CCAC nursing faculty members Diantha Bay, Dr. Jane Ann Karseski, Paula Susi, and Dina Butchko.
Welcome, family, friends, and loved ones. Congratulations to the Allegheny Campus CCAC nursing class of 2021. I am Professor Diantha Bay and Department Chair for the Allegheny Campus Nursing Department. It is with much pleasure and honor to present to you the graduates from the Allegheny campus. Viviana Anyang, Carrie Blanding, Alexa Botts, Erica Brenneson, Sarah Brune, Savannah Buhite, Hayne Bayan, Charles Caparasso, Timothy Corbley, Robert Coulter, Samantha Cravero, Katie Davidson, Christina DeBold, Alyssa Donis, Charity DePlacis, Sarah Dvorak, Mackenzie Dye, Rachel Eady, Alicia Fassinker, Christine Foster, Shanti Guatum, Lilia Gorbin, Michelle Grover, Krista Harrison, Lisang Hugh, Alexa Huber, Jacqueline Jones, Bahar Kachkarova, Alexander Konecki, Sarah Cuppis, Jennifer Lawton, Jillian Lapone, Aaron Mann, Kyle Merchant, Emily Nebel, Fong Nguyen, Margaret Pearson, Luke Radilla, Jordan Schmidt, Kathleen Torkas, Chelsea Tucker, Sabrina Turkle, Rachel Walden, Hannah Wald-Smith, Sarah Warren, Amina Yahoo, Yanjun Zayo. Congratulations again, you did it. I here now give you Dr. Jane Ann Karseski, Professor and Department Chair of our Nursing Department at California University.
Hello, I am Dr. Jane Ann Karseski, Professor and Department Head at our CalU location. Tracy Barnes, Casey Marie Bricker, Allison Conley, Jana Ewing, Annette Ferenczi, Gabriella Francia, Mary Beth Friend, Madison Helmick, Morgan Helmick, Stephanie Lash, Johanna Maloney, Jodine Kaiser Spinello. I would like to congratulate the 2021 nursing graduates from CalU and all of our campuses. I now turn the program over to Professor Susi from the North Campus Nursing Department.
Good afternoon. I'm Paula Susi, Professor of Nursing at North Campus. I am honored to be introducing the North Campus nursing graduates. As your name is announced and your pin is placed, please know that in this virtual environment, I am with you in spirit, welcoming you to the profession of nursing. Max William Badstibner, Taylor Lynn Barnhart, Jennifer Erin Bend, Jennifer Jean Bernauer, Selena Lynn Biseglia, Hannah Lee Brenfleck, Teresa Ann Brindle, Grace Angelique Marie Deal, Edley Malik Edwards, Jennifer Louise Fox, Emily Autumn Guckert, Bridget Marie Hanna, Sarah Renee Hawthorne, Alexandra Renee Konopasek, Tracy Lynn Maxwell, Danielle Edith Miller, Davia Samantha Moore, Amber Michelle Muchler, Megan Angela Nomi Parton, Krista Samantha Patel, Tammy Lynn Paulin, Selena Marie Pretty, Alyssa Marie Pataskowitz, Morgan Angel Quinn, Caitlin Amanda Raymer, Mandy Lynn Reagan, Savannah Rose Rossmiller, Luann Russell, Ellen May Salazzoni, Lauren Lynn Michelle Stankovich, Sarah Rose Svoboda, Alexandra Mackenzie Teets, Garrett Joseph Urban. On behalf of all of the faculty and instructors who supported you on this journey, congratulations and best wishes. Welcome to the profession of nursing. We are very proud of you. At this time, I would like to introduce Dina Butchko, Assistant Professor from the South Campus Nursing Department.
Hello, I am Dina Butchko, Assistant Professor of Nursing at South Campus. It is my pleasure to give you the graduates from the South Campus. Hila Beeler, Chandra Shapogai, Jacqueline Cisco, Nicholas Cortez, Michaela Crossley, Amanda Dancer, Bonnie Dio, Jasmine Demonsky, Hannah Dorsey, Wendy Dowdrick, Nicole Faison, Marissa Ferreri, Sade Nancy Gilmore, Essie Gurevich, Rebecca Hankowski, Brandy Lynn Homan, Taryn Kelly, Lauren Crew, Michaela Pasqua Latiro, Dimitri Lazari, Alyssa Marks, Elizabeth Starr Milko, Timothy Moyer, Bailey Novotny, Abigail Petro, Kylie Pitchman, Donna Ruffner, Chelsea Shaw, Carly Shellaby, Stephanie Shipley, Caitlin Sosterik,
Sarah Spiker, Amberlyn Susevich, Samara Summers, Tori Zeden, Autumn Timko, Emily Jean Vicklis, Samantha Wampler, Corey Weir, Jillian Marie Wellman, Tiffany White, Jill Withers, Kyra Nicole Zachary.
I would like to congratulate the 2021 South Campus nursing graduates in all of our campuses. I now turn the program over to Julie Paul, Associate Dean of Nursing.
Nightingale's lamp, named for Florence Nightingale, is a beacon of comfort and kindness, gentleness and courage, and constant devotion to duty. It was used in an annual service to commemorate the Lady with the Lamp dating back to 1820. Nightingale would light a lamp and pass the flame to each nurse as they said the pledge at their pinning ceremony. Today, schools have adopted various times as to when and to whom the lamp is passed. At our pinning ceremony here at CCAC, it is to recognize the passage from one level of nursing to another. The upper level has now completed their education and is moving to the graduate nurse level, and a new group is moving to the upper level. We challenge these students to aspire to excellence in their academic and clinical practice activities. In full knowledge of the obligation I'm undertaking, promise to care for the sick with all the skills and understanding I possess, without regard for race, creed, color, politics, or social status, sparing no effort to conserve life and to alleviate suffering and to promote health. I will respect at all times the dignity and religious belief of the patients under my care, holding in confidence all personal information entrusted to me, and refraining from any action which might endanger life or health. I will endeavor to keep my professional knowledge and skills at the highest level and to give loyal support and cooperation to all members of the healthcare team. I will do my utmost to honor the International Code of Ethics applied to nursing and uphold the integrity of the registered professional nurse. Graduate speakers and rising seniors, please come forward for the passing of the lamp.
Our closing speaker this afternoon is Professor Chrissy Henney. Chrissy Henney graduated from CCAC in May of 2016. Professor Henney completed her bachelor's degree from Carlow University, summa cum laude, in July of 2017, then went on and completed her master's degree from Carlow, magna cum laude, in May of 2020. Professor Henney previously worked at UPMC Mercy as a professional staff nurse on the Cardiothoracic Progressive Care Unit for nearly 5 years. She then became a charge nurse, unit-based educator, and auditor on many topics, and a preceptor for both students and new hires while at UPMC. Currently, Professor Henney is a geriatric and palliative nurse practitioner for Personal Care Medical Associates. She is also working as a skilled nurse in assisted living facilities throughout Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas, with specific goals for the geriatric population focusing on decreasing polypharmacy, advanced care planning, and pain management. Professor Henney will be receiving her Postmaster's Psychiatric Mental Health Nurse Practitioner Program Certificate and Palliative Certification this year for specialty concentrations. Please join me in welcoming Professor Chrissy Henney.
Hello, 2021 graduating class. First, I want to start by saying congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause for this amazing and monumental accomplishment you were able to achieve. I can tell you I have been there, and without a doubt, nursing school was the most challenging but rewarding experience of my life. I was where you were 5 years ago, just finished school, nervous as heck to take boards and try to pass them, and then actually becoming a licensed practicing nurse. I was lucky. I passed boards on my first try within 75 questions, but I walked out of that test thinking I was not cut out to be a nurse, and with the utmost certainty, I thought I failed. Then 4 long days later, I found out I passed. Little did I know, boards would be one of the least stressful situations I would experience as a nurse. I do think CCAC gave me a solid foundation for becoming the nurse I am today. First day of school, the very first Monday, was clinical. I was in charge of real-life patients. Mind you, I was an aide and a medication tech at a long-term care home before nursing school, but this was a different scenario. I was learning to give medications, know the diseases, look for adverse effects, and understand what can go wrong and when I need to call the doctor for more serious issues. Every semester was full of real-life and simulation clinical situations that helped shape every student that went through the program. And I think community college is one of the best learning opportunities around. I saw those who started right out of high school and those who are coming back later in life as a second or third career change. But I can say without a doubt, I feel that CCAC gave me the confidence and knowledge base to be the provider I am today. I started my nursing career on the same floor I completed my last clinical rotation on and spent nearly 5 years there learning and flourishing before moving on to be the nurse practitioner I am today. And that was never the plan either. I went into nursing knowing I thrived in a fast-paced environment, thinking I was going to be heading to the ER 1 short year after starting my career. And I ended up spending nearly 5 years fostering my skill set and knowledge base, along with creating friendships that have gotten me through some of my hardest times. I worked specifically with cardiothoracic patients, including open heart and thoracic surgical patients that were from all walks of life with many backgrounds and histories. That helped me gain the experience and confidence I have today. Working with patients from day one of nursing school helped me instill the reassurance in my practice skills and allowed me to see so many different situations that I didn't think I would have to deal with as a nurse. But I was able to accomplish that through my education at CCAC. I can tell you I had many instances where I had no clue what I was doing and wondered if I was even cut out to be a nurse and to help people. Then you have those patients who remind you why you get into the profession in the first place. I can still tell you about my first code that I had experienced as a new grad. I can tell you the lows of the profession, and believe me, they will happen. But I can also tell you those amazing stories that I still think of to this day. And I have even gotten the chance to cross paths with some of those people again in my new role. I did not set out to become a nurse practitioner when I started my nursing career. I thought when I went back to school for my bachelor's, I was furthering my education for the premise to say I did it, but I would somehow be a bedside nurse for the entirety of my career. Then my advisor through my bachelor's program convinced me to take graduate level courses for some of my credits in undergrad, just in case I wanted to pursue more education. I laughed at the idea at first. I thought, I just finished school for once since kindergarten. I felt like, why the heck would I want to go back to school again? Then I talked to a coworker of mine who was finishing up her MP and what it was they did, because I truthfully didn't know. Through that, I got to understand the field and the role an MP plays in medicine and thought, heck, why not go for it? I enrolled in my graduate program in September of 2017 and graduated last May with my master's degree as a family nurse practitioner. I fell in love with palliative medicine when I worked as an aide and a med tech at the retirement community I was at while in nursing school. And as a provider in the field, I fell back in love with my job once again. I have worked and went to school through highs and lows. I have had some amazing experiences and some not so amazing experiences when it comes to the nursing profession, but I wouldn't change what I do for a living for anything. I can say without a doubt, this pandemic was one of the most trying times of my career. Trying to work while simultaneously finishing my education was very difficult and made me question my abilities within this profession many times. I think having the restrictions that were put into place made for new challenges we had to experience through the pandemic. I have always had a strong pull to palliative medicine and hospice, and I always took pride in having a CMO patient in the care I could give to them and their families. Now I get to have those conversations, be there for the families as a provider, and I think the pandemic gave me a better sense of how to handle those situations. There was a lot of patients that unfortunately did not get to have their families with them in arguably their most vulnerable state. But I was very willing and able to help give comfort to both the patients and their families, especially at the height of the pandemic. Those experiences helped shape the way I practice palliative medicine with my patients now. especially with COVID being a major comorbid condition causing a lot of patients' decline and eventual death we see even today. COVID affected more than just the patients diagnosed. It also affected their families and the healthcare professionals taking care of them. This was a very strange and eye-opening time to be not only a practicing healthcare professional, but also a student as well. I saw both extremes with being a nurse in the inpatient side, where at the beginning of the pandemic, it was like a ghost town, and then picking up to uncharted territories of patient care and low staffing. Along with when it picked up again, our patient responsibilities exceeded our resources of staffing and the supplies. Knowing you guys weathered through the storm to finish school already puts you a step above others, being able to go through the trials and tribulations that the pandemic has thrown your way. I'll finish with some advice I can give to you that I had hoped I had during my first year or so of nursing. One would be always follow your gut instinct, which is something they probably always tell you, though it's true, especially when you're talking to the physicians. They may have medical training, but you get to know those patients working with them for 12 hours at a time. Trust what knowledge you obtain from school and that you will gain from practice, and you will gain the confidence as time goes on. Next would be to know you can pursue anything with nursing. You can stay at the bedside or move to research, education, administration, or further your education and become a provider. The possibilities are endless for you. So follow your heart and make sure you continue to make an impact on the patients you treat. Finally, never forget the reasons you became a nurse, the patients you will help. Trust me when I say there will be plenty of times you will not remember, but always think about the people you will help and touch as a nurse, and those times will keep you going. Good luck in all your future endeavors and the impact you will make on so many people's lives.
I now declare the Spring 2021 pinning ceremony of the Community College of Allegheny County closed.